You are watching Business Heroine TV for the entrepreneur who says she will and does. Join the Business Heroine community today at businessheroinemagazine.com. And now, tune into the show.
Welcome. My name is Ann Perry, and I'm the founder of Business Heroine and your host today. And it is my honor to introduce you to our special guest, the Bella, Nitika Chopra. Now, you may know Nitika as the passionate, colorful, and inspirational voice behind the online lifestyle magazine, Your Bella Life, which Nitika founded in 2010. Nitika is a certified life coach and a motivational lifestyle guru to her readers and fans, and she's the host of a brand new talk show, Naturally Beautiful, which airs every Tuesday night on Veria Living Television, and it just aired this September, so super exciting. Nitika has also created strategic partnerships with companies and brands that she supports, including Vita Coco, Tarte Cosmetics, Glow Gluten Free, Naturopathica, and more. So today, Nitika is now known for incorporating healing and happiness into every single day. Yet she battled debilitating health problems growing up, and it made it difficult for her to even walk with ease for many years. But this challenge fueled her passion for helping individuals and has made her the empathetic go-to resource that she is for women around the world. So I'm so excited to introduce you to Nitika. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure.
Well, it's our honor. Now, what I would love to jump into right away is the health challenges you talked about. It's like you went through some really rough challenges, and now your entire business revolves around mind, body, spirit, heart, vibrant Bella living. So is that a coincidence, or do tell about your journey?
No, So, as you put earlier, basically I had, health challenges for my whole life, pretty much from the age of 10, to 25 was really the peak of it, was when it was the worst for about 15 years. And I had psoriasis from the tip of my foot to the tip of my head. And so that in itself, for those of you out there who don't know what psoriasis is, it's a dry skin condition, but it's also dealing with your immune system and an overactive immune system. And so you're prone to, other infections and conditions like that as well. And then the actual skin becomes like, when your lips get really tight and you crack your lips, like my whole body was like that. So it was, hard to move, and it's also itchy. It was really, really, really challenging. And at the age of about 20, I actually ended up getting psoriatic arthritis. So the psoriasis kind of seeped into my bones and took over that part of my body as well. So it was obviously, very challenging. And the thing about the fact that, my business now is so dealing with my body and, being beautiful in terms of like the divine form of beauty and really trying to share that with others is it's definitely not a coincidence. When I was really at my sickest, I had to really understand what made me beautiful. And again, in the divine sense of beauty, like the internal and external, even when my body wasn't showing me that I was beautiful. I had a lot of evidence to the contrary. And it's not, people out there just have self-esteem issues, and I definitely have struggled with that, but it was like 10 times more, in terms of what I'm trying to battle. So if someone's out there dealing with a weight issue or dealing with acne or whatever their thing is, it's just another layer of a tool that we can use to see like what is actually going on underneath the surface of all the external stuff. So it just kind of fueled me to get to work on that and to figure that internal conversation out, even when my body wasn't helping me with that.
Wow, that's amazing. It's a lot of entrepreneurs that I've met, especially who have heart-centered businesses and businesses designed around their passion. A lot of times that comes from the struggle and comes from those challenging points. So how amazing that you went through this health challenge for 15 years, and that sounds really horrible in your bones and yikes. But going through that and coming out on the other side and now using that as a tool to inspire and empower other women who are going through something similar or their own form of that.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Anne.
Yeah. So you talk about how you've overcome several low points in your life, and in doing so, you found your own spiritual voice within,
Mm-hmm.
and you became passionate about the power of in small steps and really infusing everyday activities with spirit and possibility, with whatever faith that is or connection to spirit that is. How do you do that? How do you bring that voice forward in the day-to-day, in, all your activities as you move through your day?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest part of that journey is that I really wanted to be happy. And as, kind of surface as that might seem, it's incredible how comfortable we can get being unhappy or being, stuck in our suffering. And I had every right to be stuck in my suffering at that time, so it would have been really easy for me, just to be like, oh, this is horrible and I'm, in pain and that's just all I'm ever going to be. And, I was young, so my whole life was kind of everything surrounded me was kind of revolving around me being sick and people taking care of me. And so it really came from a deep, deep, deep desire within me to want to be happy and to want to have more than that. So that's, I think, the first step is to really get honest. Because honestly, for a while, I don't think I really wanted to be happy. I think the idea of happiness seemed way too unattainable. And it seemed like my suffering and my physical condition was all I really knew. And so I don't think I even understood what happiness really meant and what that kind of peace really meant. So just getting honest about that is the first step, I would say. And then, in terms of my spiritual voice, I'm Hindu and, I grew up in a Hindu home, but it wasn't like I had a lot of spiritual teachings. It was more like when you go through something really challenging, it just happens to make, and sorry, my home phone is ringing. My home phone never rings, but it's fine. Hopefully it's like a telemarketer and they'll just hang up. But anyway, so it basically, when you're going through something really challenging, the thing is that I always believe that you have two options. You have the option of believing that this challenge is here to make you suffer, and it is just like, the pits, and you are just like some horrible person, and like, why is this happening to me? And all of that, right? Which, okay, if we hang out there for like 5 minutes, I won't blame you, and it's fair to have all those questions come up. But for me, I just kind of felt that my survival depended on me really getting clear on why this was happening from a more positive perspective. And I really kind of detached from this being about me being horrible and assumed that this was about me learning life lessons. And that was really the only thing that I held on to my whole life, and I still hold on to that whenever something comes up. That is a very spiritual philosophy, and even though you might hear it in non-spiritual things, it is very spiritual. Like, God put this in my life for a reason. Even if it's something like you're not getting the relationship that you want, or you're having a fight with someone that you really care about, or a business thing. It's not always a physical thing. Why is this here? And you could always believe that it's here because, oh, I didn't go to the right school and I didn't, I'm not smart enough, or they want someone who's blonde hair and I have brown hair, or whatever the insecurity is that we have inside of us. And you can either believe that that's why it's there, or you can believe, okay, this is here to show me something. I have an opportunity to learn about myself and about the world and about, my abilities and vice versa. And what am I going to take from this? So that was really, I don't know if I answered your question, but that was really, how I came about the spiritual conversation.
Yeah. No, I love that, because it's like, no matter what's in your path, it's there to serve you. So if it's something amazing and wonderful is happening, then it's like awesome and celebrate it. And if something really challenging is happening, you get to choose how you perceive that. And if you choose it as this is here because the world is conspiring against me, well, then that just kind of sucks, and you can just create that reality. But if you choose to see it as this is conspiring for me, or it's here to serve me and bring me to a better place, then how powerful that makes you, So
yeah, and
I love that.
It's all energy. So it's like you get to choose. Like, do you want to choose to spend your energy spinning more negative energy, or do you want to really, even if it's like only one sentence of positivity that you can think of out of all the negative things are happening, even if you can just think of one positive thing, and it could be something small. Sometimes the only thing I can be grateful for in a day is the fact that I love my dog. And I'm like, okay, I know I have a lot to be grateful for, but I can't think of anything right now. So I love my dog, and that is it. That is all I'm going to focus on. Yeah. I mean, it's so true, but it's a choice. Like, what are you going to put your energy towards?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And thank God for our little furry animal friends.
Oh my God, thank God. Thank you, God. She's the best.
Oh. So I want to talk with you about something you just said earlier. It's kind of been swimming in my mind since you said it, which was about your authentic beauty, or the core beauty. What did you call it?
Sure, I call it divine beauty, but it's beauty. Really, it's really teaching people about meaningful beauty, And for me, I use the word divine a lot because I feel very in love with the divine conversation. But I just really believe that being beautiful is not about what is on the outside. And that, to me, like, I love wearing bright lipstick. I love getting my nails done. I love wearing jewelry. I love being feminine and being a girl. And that is great. And that is part of my self-expression. And I think that it is really powerful to align that part of my life with the truth of who I am. Mm-hmm. So yes, I do care about what I look like. And it's not, to me, it's not a shallow or vapid thing. It's actually allowing it to be a window to what I really am on the inside. Mm. And so for me, divine or meaningful beauty is really about aligning with who you are. And there are many times in my life, I can say, or, just looking at my friends' lives, where we're not really owning who we are. Whether it's, we're nervous about the first job that we're going to apply for, or when we're in college, I don't know about you, but like, I wore pajama pants to class every day and didn't care, who saw it or what I looked like, and it didn't matter. Or after a really bad breakup, I remember my mom saying to me, "What is going on with you right now? You look nuts." And I'm like, "Mom, I'm in my ugly phase. Just deal with it." You know what I mean? Like, I just I couldn't muster up the energy to like do anything for myself physically. And I think that, that serves a purpose, but I really believe that aligning with the truth of who you are and having it be embodied in the way you take care of yourself, the way you present yourself, it's just such a powerful thing. Yeah. It is such a powerful thing. And to be aware of, the way you get ready in the morning and, who you're going to see that day and how you're going to feel when you're having those meetings and, especially if you're wanting to attract the love of your life and how you're putting yourself out there in the world. If everything is energy, and how you take care of yourself and how you invest in yourself in terms of like the time you put into getting ready is such a huge part of that. That is energy, So if you take 2 seconds and you're like, oh, who cares? I don't care. I don't have time for this. I'm just going to throw something on. That is energy. That is a negative energy that you're putting into your physical appearance. And people just don't think about it as much as I think. As much as I would like them to. I was about to say as much as I think they should, but they shouldn't do anything.
No, should.
So
yeah, you're speaking to me because that's been a journey of my own, and especially for work from home entrepreneurs.
Yes.
It's like if you're probably not going to see someone that day, it's so much easier to kind of just get lazy about it. However, you're seeing yourself every day, and don't you notice even if you're just sitting in your own chair at home, if you feel like you look beautiful for you, whatever that is for you, then you kind of sit taller and it comes through in your emails. It comes through in
Oh,
your
yeah.
Facebook. It is energy. It totally is.
It's totally energy. And I'm not suggesting that everybody wear bright lipstick or everybody get their nails done every 2 weeks or whatever. And I'm not suggesting you have to wear heels. I hate heels. You know, so it's not that. It's really about, you know, if you're a girl who loves to play sports and you're like a full-time mom or whatever your lifestyle, but really owning, like I'm a full-time mom. So I'm going to wear flats and I'm going to wear jeans and I'm going to wear a t-shirt, but it's going to be the best flats, jeans, and t-shirt that I can find because I want to take care of myself.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about what it actually is. It's like not about name brands. It's not about any of that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just important.
It is. And I love what you said too about the authentically, when you're the authentically you, that's beautiful. Because it totally is. When you know those people who you just are magnetically attracted to, and it's like, because they're just them, whatever it is. And you aren't looking at flaws and that kind of, you're looking at this like beautiful, awesome, vibrant, glowing person because they're just so owning who they are.
Yeah, and like that's a muscle.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I try to own who I am at all times, but come on. I mean, I'm a human being. It's like, I can't own who I am at all times. Someone says something crazy to me as I'm walking down the street and I'm about to go into a meeting. Chances are that energy, that, you know, conversation is going to kind of be with me a little bit, and I'm going to have to work through it, and I'm going to have to pick up again and be like, okay, who am I? Let me get back to my center. Or, you know, if I have a fight with someone or I'm feeling energy in a business transaction and I'm like stressed out or whatever, it's just a muscle that we have to create and, you know, really develop.
Yeah, I like how you put that. So, all right, we've touched on this a little bit, maybe between the lines, but I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on spirituality and business. What are the links there?
I really think it is so profoundly connected. I really do. And I honestly am so grateful that I get to be an entrepreneur. And I don't think you have to be an entrepreneur to feel this way. I think if you are a businesswoman in a corporation, but you are excited about what you're doing, you can really feel the same way. So I'm going to speak from an entrepreneur's perspective because that's what I know, but just to, you know, give that kind of disclaimer as well. In terms of spirituality and business, I just really feel that, you know how you say, like you probably have heard when you're in a relationship with someone, it really teaches you so much more about yourself, and you know, learn how to take care of someone better. You learn how to be a better partner, how to manage your time better, just different things that come up that you just would have never maybe even thought of. And it just kind of continues to shape who you are in such an incredible way. And I feel like with business, it's the same thing. Like I have my first Fellow Life employee. She became my employee officially in September. Yay. And, you know, I've been through the whole thing of having interns, and I've had different interns throughout the last 4 years. And I've just worked on my own throughout the last 4 years, up and down throughout the time. And I've taped on a set and had a whole production company, you know, all the different things. And I've really had to understand how people work. I've really had to understand how sensitive I am and own how sensitive I am. And that's probably one of the biggest things I've had to learn in business is boundaries and saying no a lot. But saying no from a place of, I love myself and this has nothing to do with you. You know, so I think that's a very spiritual conversation.
Totally.
I think that, and also, you know, the sensitivity conversation. Because I went through so much health stuff, and I'm very sensitive and fragile in terms of like my body. I want to make sure my body is always taken care of. Yeah. I can't overextend myself. I physically cannot do it. Yeah. So that's, I think, a very spiritual conversation. It's just a different lens to grow and develop and be like the best version of yourself.
Totally.
So I think they're completely connected, and I am honestly very grateful that I get to learn and grow and practice and all of that through this kind of conversation.
Yeah, I agree. Well put. Okay, so now I want to just hear, because you have this really successful career. Congratulations on your first real true employee, by the way. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. You've been really successful in the media. I mean, you are a lifestyle contributor in the Huffington Post. You've spoken at the prestigious Reveal Conference by Donna Karan's Urban Zen Foundation. You have your own talk show on national television. So how did you either recognize these opportunities or create these opportunities for those who are tuning in who want to follow the path that you have, and they are feeling this draw to be in the media and be seen and get that visibility? Give us some inside secrets.
Sure. I would say there's probably like three things that come up, off the top of my head. So the first thing is it's really about the conversation that we just had about boundaries. I actually think that this is a huge, huge, huge deal, because a lot of times I think even in relationships or business, it doesn't matter, exactly what, sometimes it's easier to think of things in relationships because it's like with another person. Mm-hmm. But, even in business, boundaries are so important. And I think I know so many of my friends that do this as entrepreneurs, especially, they try to just be available all the time. And there's a desperation / scared urgency around, if I don't answer this email, if I'm not on my computer all the time, if I don't make time for this person to meet for lunch, whatever, mm-hmm. It's not okay. Mm-hmm. It's just not okay. It is not okay. And I used to be that way. And I used to be that way in relationships too. And I feel like it's just really come down to, and this is where spirituality comes in to tie back to the last question, it really comes down to a knowing. And if I know in my heart of hearts that I am meant to do this work for the rest of my life, and I am meant to be wildly successful at it, I don't have to stress, struggle, and push when I need to take a rest at all. Mm. Like, that person will come. I will meet them for lunch. I will get back to them on email. We will do an event together. It will all happen. Mm-hmm. And even the same thing for like my newsletter. I mean, at the beginning, oh my gosh, I was so stressed about the whole newsletter conversation. I talk about this all the time because, you research and you follow people. Like, I'm sure people are following Business Heroine and they're like, oh my God, she sends out all these newsletters and they're so great and she has such great information. How does she do it? And it's so beautiful, but that works for you, and it works beautifully for you. And it's so great. For me, I've had to take out like 6 months at a time where I don't even write a newsletter. Mm-hmm. And it's like, people would think that's crazy. How could you do that? I don't really lose any followers. I don't have a problem. I think I had one girl email me when I did that once who was like, I miss you, like one of our fellow Life fans. Sweet. But it was sweet, and she was actually checking to make sure I was okay. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a problem. That's awesome. And I needed a break. Yeah. I needed a genuine break, and it was so helpful. It was a great gift to myself to say, okay, you're allowed to take a break. Don't write a newsletter if you don't have anything to say right now. Yeah. So that's a huge one. And then I also think another part of it is like having clarity. And even if you don't have clarity, getting clear that you don't have clarity. Mm. You know what I mean? Because I had this video called The Girl Who Cried Entrepreneur, and I was that girl for so long, where I was so hungry to figure out what I was meant to do. I had all of these different things that I loved to do, and had a lot of passions, but I couldn't figure out where it was supposed to go, how it was supposed to be created. I didn't get it at all. I thought I wanted to open like a psoriasis center. I didn't know what I was going to do. It was like every week, every other day, I would call my parents and be like, so I'm going to go to this school and this is going to happen and now I'm going to open a center. And they'd be like, oh my God, really? And just like so over it. Because I literally was the girl who cried entrepreneur for like years and years and years. Mm. And I thought that I knew what I wanted to do. And then finally, I got really clear that I had no idea what I wanted to do. Mm. And I asked God. I literally prayed for over 3 years to get clarity. Wow. While I was like, meeting people and having conversations and working on my own spiritual journey and dealing with my health and all of that. But I didn't know what I wanted to do in my career. And I was kind of going from job to job, waitressing, working in retail. I'm in New York City. It's easy to do that kind of stuff. And I was really clear that I didn't have a clue of what I wanted to do. So even the people out there who don't know what they want to do, getting clear on that is really powerful. And it will come to you if you keep asking.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So do you mind if I reflect back what I heard just to kind of make sure I'm getting it? So it's part of it, because your rapid success, part of it is, it sounds like maybe it just clicked in, the time was right, you finally got clear. And part of getting clear was being real with yourself that you weren't clear, just admitting it and asking for support. And now, once you found that clarity, it sounds like you not only had a clarity, but you had a really deep knowingness, where you know where you're headed, you know what you want. And so it kind of just takes away all this stress or desperation energy or rushy energy around it, because you know it's happening. So it sounds like, in a way, it's like your eye is on the prize, I guess, so to speak, or it's like you know where you're going, and you just are consistently walking towards it with just trust in yourself. That's
Absolutely. Amazing. That's exactly what it is. The knowing, because honestly, the clarity isn't about like trying to figure it out just to get an answer.
Right.
It's like we know what that feels like when something clicks in our heart. We know it's different than just assuming or hoping or thinking. It's a different energy when something inside of you is like, oh my God, that's it. That's it. Like, that is the thing. It's a totally different energy. And I was really wanting that energy. Could I have done 50 other things? Sure. But I didn't want to waste my time doing 50 other things. I wanted to find the thing. And for me, the thing was the talk show. And so I really, really got clear that I wanted a show. And everything I've done in the last 4 years has been towards wanting to get my own show.
That's cool.
You know?
It's so cool.
And I think, just to interject, I think the last thing I would say is building relationships. And that has been, and as I've gone through my career, I feel like I can see it that much more now, because the relationships sometimes take a while to build. But going back to what you said before about being your authentic self, like really showing up for someone and really just being who you are, fully knowing that you're divinely destined to be all that you want to be, not being stressed and not being desperate and not having that asking, grabbing energy, but showing up and just being like, hey, this is who I am. Like, this is what I want for myself. This is what I do. What's up with you?
That's beautiful. I love it.
And it's so helpful, and it really works.
Yeah, it really does. It's naturally attractive. People who just know what they want, know who they are, and are secure in who they are. And even secure if they don't know what's up, then, that's a sign of security. So that's cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much. I'm really excited about what's going on with your career. I think it's really inspiring. And you're changing, just what you're doing for health and for beauty, and also as a role model for somebody who's invented your own career, and you got your talk show. It's amazing. So last question, just any last advice for the business heroines out there who are on the path to invent their own dream career based on their own talents, passions, challenges? What final parting words would you leave with an emerging entrepreneur like that?
Well, I would say, hitting on the clarity conversation, because I feel like I get that a lot. The thing that helped me get clear, along with asking for clarity, was a final question that my friend Gabrielle Bernstein actually asked me like 5 years ago. And it was right before I started Bella Life. And she said, if you could do anything in this world and money wasn't a concern, resources were not a concern, name 3 things that you would do. And it doesn't matter if it makes any sense. Okay. So my 3 things were, I would help people. Like, I would take care of people. I love taking care of people. I would create, because I love creating concepts and ideas and blog posts and video. I just love creation. And then the last thing was I would be with the camera. Like, I just want to make out with the camera. I love it so much as like a mode of self-expression. Like, it is my mode of self-expression. And so my point in telling you that is that even if those things that you pick don't make any sense, don't pick them to try to fit them into a mold. Just pick 3 things, because those 3 things made no sense together. I was like, what is that? Like, that makes no sense. I don't know what that is. And then sit with it. So I sat with those 3 things, meditated on them, prayed on them for about 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. And then the knowing of wanting a talk show clicked.
Wow.
I wanted to be in front of the camera. I wanted to create concepts and segments and ideas in front of the camera, and I wanted to take care of my audience. And it was so profoundly clear.
Yeah.
So
and when you say it, reflecting back, it's like, oh, those 3 things fit together so perfectly. But at the time, it sounds like it felt so random. Like, what do those have to do with each other?
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
cool.
I just encourage people to just really, like, one of the things that she said is, like, you know, really think about the things that people go to you for. So if you're helping your friends with their wardrobe, or you're helping your friends with organizing, or whatever it is, just focus on those 3 things that light you up and that you would do all day long if you could.
Brilliant.
And you'll find your career.
Yeah, that's an awesome action step. And so everyone who's tuning in, we have our homework. So that's perfect. Thank you so much, Nitika.
My pleasure, Suzanne.
Yeah, it's been awesome. And for all the business heroines out there who are tuning in, you can find out more about Nitika Chopra and Your Bella Life and Nitika's talk show, Naturally Beautiful. We will put information about that up on businessheroinemagazine.com. So check it out and check her out. Follow her, like her, tweet her, link to her, all those things. And yeah, thank you again so much for sharing your wisdom with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure.
Absolutely. All right, and we'll talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.
You have been watching Business Heroine TV for the entrepreneur who says she will and does. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out what's new at businessheroinemagazine.com today.